The interrogation chamber aboard the Calthrine warship smelled like burnt copper and regret. Commander Vexenar clicked his mandibles together in satisfaction as he watched the human student slumped in the restraint chair. This was going to be easy, he thought. Humans were supposed to be soft, emotional, primitive creatures who crumbled under the slightest pressure. Oh, how spectacularly wrong he was about to be. The human, who'd introduced herself simply as Maya Torres, looked about as threatening as a newborn glimmermoth. She was small by human standards, maybe 20 cycles old in their years, wearing what the intelligence files called casual student attire, some kind of fabric leg coverings, and a shirt with faded symbols on it. Her dark hair was tied back loosely, and she had the annoyed expression of someone who'd just missed their transport. Not exactly the face of terror. Vexenar leaned forward, his 3 eyes narrowing with theatrical menace. Do you understand the gravity of your situation, human? You are found in a restricted sector. Galactic law permits us to extract information by any means necessary. Maya yawned. Actually yawned. Then she stretched her neck, making it pop in a way that caused the guard beside her to flinch. Yeah, sure. Restricted sector. Got it. Can we speed this up? I have an exam tomorrow on quantum field theory, and I really can't afford to miss it. The commander's scales rippled with irritation. This wasn't going according to protocol. Prisoners were supposed to show fear, maybe beg a little, perhaps cry. They weren't supposed to complain about academic assessments. You mock me? Vexenar hissed. Perhaps you don't realize that humans have no diplomatic protection in this region. Your embassy is 14 light years away. No one is coming to save you. Maya actually laughed at that. Not a nervous giggle, but a full, genuine laugh that echoed off the metal walls. Oh, buddy, you really don't know much about humans, do you? The guard, a nervous Plickton named Girk, shifted uncomfortably. Commander, perhaps we should check her origin files again? Standard protocol suggests. Silence. Vexenar snapped. He turned back to Maya, activating the pain inducer on her restraints. A low-level charge, just enough to make most species whimper. Now, you will tell me why you were scanning our defense grid. Or, Maya's expression didn't change. She didn't even blink. The electricity that should have had her screaming was apparently about as bothersome as a mild static shock. Or what? You'll bore me to death with threats? Look, I was scanning your grid because I'm doing my thesis on outdated security systems. Congratulations, yours qualified. It's got more holes than Swiss cheese. Girk made a strangled sound. She just insulted our entire defensive infrastructure. I'm aware. Vexenar's voice was reaching frequencies that would have shattered glass on most worlds. He increased the pain inducer to level 5. Most species would be unconscious by now. The human just looked mildly annoyed. Okay, that's starting to itch, Maya said conversationally. You want to dial that down? Or should I tell you about the 7 backdoors I found in your system in the first 10 minutes? Because honestly, I'm embarrassed for you guys. That was when Vexenar made his first real mistake. He decided to do some actual research on humans. His secondary manipulator brought up the datapad, and he began scrolling through the human homeworld files. Earth. Deathworld classification 9 out of 10. Gravity 2.3 times galactic standard. Atmosphere containing a corrosive element called oxygen that humans literally burn for energy. Predators everywhere. Weather patterns that included frozen water falling from the sky, electrical storms that could vaporize most species, and something called hurricanes that were basically atmospheric homicide attempts. And humans evolved there. Not just survived, but thrived, built civilizations, created art, developed philosophy, and apparently sent their younglings off-world to attend university like it was perfectly normal. The commander's scales went pale. What region of Earth are you from? Maya shrugged against her restraints. Colorado. Mountains mostly. Why? Girk was frantically typing on his own datapad. Commander, the files say Colorado is 2,000 meters above sea level. The atmosphere pressure there is even lower than standard Earth baseline. She's been training in low oxygen environments her entire life. And it gets cold there, Maya added helpfully. Sometimes negative 40 degrees. That's where Celsius and Fahrenheit meet. Fun fact. Makes you real tough. Oh, and I did 4 years of mixed martial arts before college. Black belt. Just for exercise. Vexenar felt his primary heart start palpitating. The human wasn't just from a death world. She was from one of the harsh regions of that death world. She probably thought their torture devices were mild inconveniences. Listen, Maya continued, her voice taking on a sharp edge that made both aliens instinctively step back. I'm going to explain something to you very clearly, and I'm only going to say it once. I am a third-year physics student at Armstrong University. I have a grade point average I'm very proud of. I have worked incredibly hard to maintain my scholarship, and I have exactly zero patience for wannabe space pirates who think they can derail my education. She paused, letting that sink in. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to release these restraints, apologize for wasting my time, and provide me with transportation back to campus. Or option 2, I get creative. Vexenar tried to regain his composure, puffing out his chest plates. You dare threaten us? You are one small human against an entire warship crew of 40 trained soldiers. What could you possibly do? Maya's smile was the kind of expression that prey animals recognized right before something very bad happened. Want to find out? The commander made his second mistake. He laughed. It was a wet, gurgling sound that Calthrine used to express contempt. Girk increased restraints to maximum. Let's see how tough this Deathworlder really is when we properly motivate her. That's when things got interesting. The restraints, designed to hold creatures 3 times Maya's size, hummed with energy. Most beings would have been completely immobilized, every muscle locked in place. Maya took a deep breath, the kind humans did before exerting themselves, and simply stood up. The restraints didn't break. They didn't malfunction. She just overpowered them through sheer muscular force that shouldn't have been possible for something her size. The metal groaned. Sparks flew. And Maya Torres, exhausted college student with an exam tomorrow, ripped free like the restraints were made of tissue paper. Okay, she said, rolling her shoulders and cracking her knuckles in a way that sounded like small bones breaking. I tried being reasonable. Girk hit the alarm. Immediately, red lights bathed the chamber and a klaxon started wailing. Heavy footsteps thundered down the corridor as the security team responded. Vexenar scrambled backward, reaching for his plasma pistol. He never got there. Maya moved with a speed that the security footage would later show was almost impossible to track. One moment she was standing by the broken restraint chair, the next she was behind Vexenar, one arm around his throat in what human combat manuals called a rear naked choke. The commander's eyes bulged as his oxygen supply was efficiently cut off. Non-lethal, Maya said calmly as 6 security officers burst through the door, weapons raised. Notice I said non-lethal. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I just want to go home and study. But if you people keep pushing, I'm going to start getting creative with my biomechanics knowledge. And trust me, you don't want that. The lead security officer, a hulking drammer named Krell, aimed his plasma rifle at her. Release the commander or we fire. Maya sighed like a teacher dealing with particularly slow students. Think about trajectory and angles, people. You shoot at me, you hit your boss. I'm literally using him as a shield right now. Did none of you take basic tactical training? Krell's antenna drooped with embarrassment. She was right. Every firing angle would hit Vexenar first. Also, Maya continued, tightening her grip slightly as the commander wheezed. Humans have this thing called adrenaline. It's a chemical our bodies produce under stress. Right now, I've got enough of it flooding my system that I could probably bend that rifle barrel into a pretzel before you finish charging the shot. Deathworld biology is fun like that. Girk, who had been frantically reading through more human files, made a distressed chirping sound. Commander, the files say humans are persistence hunters. They don't give up. Ever. There are records of humans tracking prey for days without stopping. One human once ran 260 kilometers without rest during something called an ultramarathon. For fun. Not helping Girk. Vexenar gasped. Maya's expression softened slightly. Look, I get it. You thought you caught some naive student who'd be easy to intimidate. You were probably going to ransom me or sell information or whatever villainous scheme you had planned. But here's the thing about humans. We're really, really stubborn. And we really, really hate bullies. She released Vex and AR, who collapsed to the floor coughing. The security team tensed, but Maya just held up her hands in a peaceful gesture. I'm going to walk out of here now. You're going to let me, because honestly, you can't stop me without significant casualties on your side. They're going to strike this whole embarrassing incident from your records and never, ever target another human student again. Deal? Krell looked at his commander, who was still gasping on the floor. He looked at his team, who were all clearly terrified of the small human who just demonstrated that their restraints were essentially decorative. He looked back at Maya, who was patiently waiting like someone in line at a coffee shop. Deal, he said quietly. Maya smiled, and this time it was genuine and warm. Great. Thanks for being reasonable. Oh, and Girk, that defensive grid? Patch 17 is the main vulnerability. You're welcome. She walked past the security team, who parted like water around a stone. At the doorway, she paused and looked back. Also, if anyone asks, you fought bravely, but I had backup from a special forces team. Save your pride. I won't tell if you won't. And then she was gone, leaving behind a group of aliens who would spend the rest of their lives telling absolutely no one about the day they got completely schooled by a physics student from Colorado. 3 hours later, Maya made it back to campus with 20 minutes to spare before her exam. She aced it, naturally, because that's what humans do. They survive impossible situations, overcome ridiculous odds, and still show up on time for their commitments. The galaxy never quite looked at human students the same way again. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.